All right. So it's a simple one today. It's about your uniform, which is a super boring topic. Most servers basically hate getting their uniform together because, you know, who has fucking time? Basically, like, who has time to make sure your shit's clean? My shit's covered in hair always. I have to lint roll every single day before I go into work because of my dog. But you do what you got to do to swing it, to make it work, to make that money. So it's really important for you to know that your uniform, like, is your first impression. Like, your first impression isn't the words you say to your table. I mean, a lot of the time, unfortunately, you'll walk up to a table and they won't even look at you. That's a really unfortunate circumstance, because that means that they're not concerned with you or your tip or having a good time or anything like that. They're just in a bad mood. But I'd say 90% of the time when you walk up to a table, the first thing they're going to see is how you're dressed. And therefore being clean is important, period. I mean, like, your uniform basically imprints an impression of what the kitchen looks like to the guest. If you have a messy uniform or a dirty uniform, they're gonna assume, it may or may not be true, you could have one of the cleanest kitchens in the world, but if your uniform's dirty, they're just gonna go ahead and assume, like, wow, that kitchen's dirty back there. Like, sheesh, like, why are we eating here if the kitchen's so dirty? Unfortunate, because truth be told, you may have just worked a double, work a double on Friday, work a double on Saturday, you're there for Sunday brunch, and you're off on Monday. You work 13 hours, and then, you're there at the ass crack of dawn opening, and you really don't have time to. When are you gonna wash your uniform? Really, if you want 8 hours of sleep, you're fucked. If you want to, eat or anything, you're fucked. It's a really shitty situation to be in, to need to have your uniform done so much like that, but part of the life. I would suggest keeping, like, a change of uniform on hand, like always having extra shirts, always having extra whatnot. I only have one company shirt. It's the one I'm wearing. The company's turned around on the back because I don't want anyone to know where I work. But yeah, the company shirts thing, if you can get more than one, make sure you do, because a restaurant-specific shirt looks so much better than just the plain black. It looks like you've been there for a while. It instills a sense of, like, oh, this person knows what they're doing. They'll trust him or her with, like, company apparel. Like, they're willing to put their name on this one. You know what I mean? Even if you work at a mom and pop, I would seriously suggest, like, hey, can we get shirts? Like, I really want a shirt, something that gives the impression that you've been there for a while, that you know what you're doing. Of course, even if you don't know what you're doing, like, the biggest cure for fear is confidence. So, I don't know, something about having a company shirt makes you feel like a big kid too. Like, you'll be in there and you'll be like, oh wow, I got my first company shirt. I've been here for a month and a half and they just ordered shirts. Well, at least I put in my month and a half and got the shirt. I don't know, makes you feel nice, makes you feel established. Just a few simple things. Keep your hair nice. I mean, I know that in my earlier videos, my shit was kind of fucked up. But if you're a male, especially, see a barber more often than you usually would, especially for a serving job. That's just the price of business. It's just the cost of getting things done. You gotta look nice. Smell nice. Don't ever smell like cigarettes when you walk into work. So many servers smoke, but it's awful when I go out to eat and I sit down at a table and I'm, like, really trying to enjoy some food, and the first thing I smell is, like, dusty IHOP Waffle House cigarette smoke. It's just not the best thing in the world. I don't personally enjoy that smell, so I know a lot of other non-smokers also don't enjoy that smell. It's just the price of doing business. Keep something on you to stay not nice. Yeah. Besides that, you can do something personal with your uniform. Like, if you're a male specifically, buying a really nice cologne, I've noticed, like, don't be overbearing with it. Like, don't spray too much. Don't do anything, But having a really nice cologne as a male that no one else at your restaurant wears, that's kind of unique to you, it will distinguish you a little bit. If you're curious, I like Prada's Luna Rosa Carbon. I know it's an offshoot of Dior Sauvage. I do not care. I prefer that as, like, pretty much. Like, I prefer that smell. I think they reformulated it it's a tangent, but I think they reformulated it and it smells a little different than it used to. I remember it smelling a lot rosier, but it doesn't smell like that anymore. But it does last longer, so I do appreciate that. Me, in particular, I'm like the only server, of course. I'm like also the only guy, but I'm the only server that can grow a really nice beard. So that's what I do. I distinguish myself in that way. It helps me, like, just be different. I really don't introduce myself by name to my tables. They don't care. And if they do care, they'll go, "What's your name? Like, did you introduce yourself?" 99% of the time, tables don't even care what my name is, so I don't ever say it. Not a big deal. Doesn't matter. They shouldn't need me anyway. They shouldn't need to say my name. I should always be around and available enough to where they're not gonna, need to say my name. I also I've done this for so long that I can, preemptively guess what tables need. If they're old, I'm just going to go ahead and throw down some extra napkins, that type of shit. It's, you're in the business for a while, you get it. For women, I've noticed it's especially helpful if you'll put something in your hair, something colorful. I know a lot of women do the bandana thing. If you can get away with the bandana thing, that's cool. If you can't get away with the bandana thing, that's fine. I know some women who do their hair in a specific way that is different from everyone else in the restaurant. Just a little something to separate you from everyone else, because when they need to get their check, you don't want them to ask someone who looks kind of like you, is your same height, your same build. Definitely not you, though, because, that person's going to get pissed. Hey, your table's asking me for shit. Is what it is. I mean, you can distinguish yourself well enough to do that. This isn't really uniform related, but it is important. I've mentioned it in the past before, but dental care is a really big deal. You need to have some pretty good teeth while you're waiting tables. I know that during Corona, there were a lot of masks everywhere and no one could see your teeth and everything. I took that opportunity to get my teeth fixed. It didn't cost as much as you would think it would cost, especially with insurance. But you should, if you're a server, whatever you spend on getting your teeth fixed is totally gonna be worth it. It leaves such an impression. It's such a small detail, but it's about your face. And if people are talking to you in a respectful manner, that's where they're gonna look. So you need to, you need to keep, the moneymaker in order, and then basically having good teeth is a big part of that. Also, it's a big confidence boost. You'll notice that you're less afraid to smile, have a good time, be yourself with strangers, because they're not going to judge me about my teeth, so it shouldn't hurt me any. But it's a really important one to get out there. All in all, I would say the biggest part of all this is to make sure you look clean, because a clean server is indicative of a clean kitchen. Smelling good, that's, hopefully you do, but shit, you could be on that shift and on your 9th hour and your deodorant failed, your cologne's worn off, like you smell like burnt meat because you spilled some on you earlier. Hopefully you smell good, but you gotta look clean. That's first and foremost. I hope that any of this helped. It was simple, really super simple recap, but I feel like I have to make a video saying that your uniform has to look clean, because so many people So many, especially young servers, will come into work with a dirty uniform. Older servers, I've noticed, more got their shit together on like the laundry schedule and whatnot. But younger servers, especially fresh out of high school, you know, college students, you know, I've seen a guy go 2 weeks, 3 weeks without washing his work shirt, and it started to look like it was getting stiff, and I was just like, hey, you good, dog? Like, are you depressed? But yeah, simple video, in and out, over and done.